Welcome back. Thank you for staying with the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Mother of Botham Jah, Alison Jah, says she and her family were invited to attend the Super Bowl, to be there in person to mark the moment when a public service announcement was aired. The PSA was unveiled on the 22nd of January and centered around the story of Botham Jah being fatally shot while in his own home by an off-duty police officer. The 26-year-old St. Lucian native was killed on the 6th of September 2018 in Dallas when Amber Geiger entered his apartment, mistaking it for her own, and fired a fatal shot at Jean. He was eating ice cream when he was killed. Alison Jean says the movement is needed. The PSA was the third to be launched of the Responsibility Program, a joint initiative between Rock Nation and the NFL to unveil PSAs that raise awareness about the need to come together to create change in communities and to respect one another.
My family was invited to the Super Bowl to witness what it was, because it's all within the whole Super Bowl experience that the PSA was aired. There was also several national, United States national media that covered that PSA. The message that goes out is really to see our black sons, our black children who are in the United States, not as a threat, but as those who can develop society into good men and women of society. So I am very grateful to Rock Nation and the NFL for highlighting the plight of our black children and using my son's story to bring about that change.
The message, "We need to do more to create change," appeared on screen before the ad ended. It directed viewers to the website of the Botham Jah Foundation, an organization set up by his sister to honor and advance the causes and communities that he was invested in. Anglican priest Christian Glasgow is calling for God to be reintroduced to society. With the ever-growing issue of crime plaguing the island, Father Glasgow says human beings are doomed to revert to animalistic behavior if God and faith continues to be pushed out. And so crime and violence, he says, will only get worse and more frequent. He is calling for the powers that be to act now on the matter.
As the year continues, one thing that has continued on from the years past is the rise in crime, and one man of the cloth has called for society to bring back God to stop the scourge. Anglican priest Father Christian Glasgow said, "It is time for us as a people to stop talking about the crime issues and to do something about it." And by doing something, he means the reintroduction of God to society.
Crime and violence is not an isolated phenomenon in our society. It is, to my mind, just the symptom of something that is greater and wrong in the society. I have a belief that yes, there is no issue of the breakdown of morality and all of that. There is the whole issue of the distrust among persons who lead, because among other things, the leader doing one thing while saying another. But more than anything else, the absence of a God reference in our lives as a nation.
Father Glasgow said it takes more than saying that there is a God or saying that St. Lucia is a Christian nation, because current society does not reflect these words. He said a society with no God is a society without humanity.
The amount of churches and denominations, and yet we have a large percentage of our population who have absolutely no relationship with God of any sort. There's a basic understanding that if there's not a relationship with God, that our humanity diminishes. That is to say, when there isn't that God reference in our lives, we sink to our lowest animalistic instincts, and literally it is the law of the jungle: eat one, eat the other.
The priest said the problem is so widespread that even the nation's children are affected, thus breeding future generations of non-believers.
As the manager of a primary school here, I'm appalled as to how many children in our schools have absolutely no relationship with God whatsoever. And except for the assemblies at school, there's nothing else. St. Lucia, wake up. We're on the wrong path. And it doesn't matter how much economic prosperity takes place, if there isn't a God reference, all you'll be doing is creating more chaos in this nation.
On Monday morning, John Edward, who was the watchman at the Canon Laurie Anglican Primary School, was accosted by two men for unknown reasons, leaving him nursing injuries at the Victoria Hospital. The intruders are reported to have dragged Edward into a male restroom at the school, where they proceeded to beat him severely. The watchman/caretaker's screams attracted the attention of teachers and students, whereupon the attackers fled. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
Residents of Pave, Maynard Hill and Rock Hall have hosted 2 community meetings, all geared at promoting effective waste management practices and impressing upon others the need to keep their surroundings clean. A major cleanup campaign has been planned in conjunction with the St. Lucia Solid Waste Management Authority. Pave resident and police officer Alex Morgan is fed up with the eyesore of garbage in his surrounding community. He is one of the residents leading the effort to clean up Pave, Maynard Hill and Rock Hall. Morgan and other concerned citizens have mobilized efforts, getting the Solid Waste Management Authority to partner with them to educate residents on proper waste management practices. He has put people on notice that a zero-tolerance approach will be taken on the issue of pollution of the communities.
We want to also send a strong message to persons who pass through the area and drop garbage or toss their garbage into the bins. Our people will be looking out, they'll be recording you, and they'll be taking the necessary. It's an offense to take garbage from your area and drop it in somebody else's area, especially if it's not been done on the day of disposal. I think your garbage is supposed to be done in your area and don't take it across to the. This is what are the concerns that the residents have, that persons are coming from all over the place, dumping garbage on the way to work, on the way from work, on the way to training, in the areas, even filling up the bins just as the trucks finish passing. So you want to ensure that that too is a matter that is addressed. Let's all be humans, let's all be civil about it, that your garbage shouldn't be in my house. Your garbage should be in your place so that it can be disposed of and all of us can live happy.
2 successful sensitization meetings have been held with residents. Operations and Landfill Manager with the St. Lucia Solid Waste Management Authority, Mary Dalson, says residents are now more knowledgeable on waste management.
Expecting from these 2 meetings that there will be a minimization of waste placed out on the roadside before a collection day. Because what we did was that we campaigned that residents keep their waste home and place it out the morning of collection, which is a Tuesday, a Thursday, and a Saturday.
Stephen Chico is a resident of Pave who says he is hopeful that a change in mindset will come about as a result of the recent meeting with various agencies on the issue of waste management.
What I have noticed in surveys that was conducted, when you see a community is well kept, people from the outside don't just come and dirty it up, you know. They only prongs on the communities that are dirty and not well kept. But if the people in Rockall decide to keep theirs clean, it will stay clean. I'm optimistic of that. And what came out of the meeting, I can see we going somewhere.
The Joint Community Cleanup Campaign is scheduled for the 1st of March 2020. The special education subsector in St. Lucia sought to find wholesome solutions to a wide range of issues currently affecting the sector when it hosted a national training seminar in special education. The 2-day special education seminar was held under the theme Facing the Challenge with Effective Behavior Solution. It brought together special education teachers from across the country. The goal was to train teachers to better care for learners with challenging behaviors so that they can provide support in a manner that preserves human dignity while maximizing opportunities for achievement. Chief Education Officer Fiona Myers spoke out about the labeling and stereotyping of students who require special education.
So as educators, we get the opportunity to model, to encourage, to support, to advocate, to look at the individual. Let us stop looking at labels. I know all of them, I studied them. but look at the individual and what that person brings to the table and what we can do to encourage that individual, regardless of a physical disability, regardless of a mental disability, to be a productive citizen. So you have a special responsibility to touch. What part of the body are you trying to touch? Trying to touch the heart.
The seminar consisted of 2 days of training for all teachers supporting learners with special educational needs. A small group of parents were also in attendance as potential beneficiaries of the training that teachers will receive for continuity of behavior management. Community pediatrician Dr. Jacqueline Bird addressed the workshop's participants on the topic of executive function, which is a set of mental skills that include working memory, flexible thinking, and self-control.
Are you modeling executive functioning? If I can stay outside at the gate and hear you shouting and belittling a child, you are not modeling executive function. And if you make a mistake and don't practice executive functioning, which is the self-control and the composure not to send the child, get out of here and go to the principal, and you stay where you are and hear what's happening to him at the principal, and you don't leave and go and rescue him back, then you're not practicing executive functioning.
Dr. Bird also made a case for the safety of children in schools and stressed that this encompasses feeling free from fear and physical or psychological harm at all times, even within a classroom setting.
Children also need stability. Just to summarize, the degree of predictability and consistency in their social, emotional, and physical environment. They cannot have a nice teacher today and then Miss have a wash tomorrow. Or Mr. Sorry, I'm not just targeting females. And then they also need nurturing. Nurturing is the extent to which a parent, a caregiver, a teacher, and a peer is available and able to sensitively, consistently respond and meet their needs.
For students, trouble with executive functioning can make it hard to focus, follow directions, and handle emotions, among other things. Hence the reason why Dr. Bird says the trained adult in the person of the teacher should lead by example.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this quick break.